ambulance service. Is the patient breathing?
My name's Kim, I'm the ambulance crew, all right?
This is the Scottish Ambulance Service.
We genuinely get to make a difference in people's lives.
The job literally is life and death.
No needles or anything on them, though. There's nothing I would rather do than this.
Serving every one of us.
It's okay, love. It's all right, don't worry.
From Scotland's busiest cities to its wide open countryside.
Go ahead, please, stand over.
Wherever we have fallen, whatever has happened to us.
Need a hug?
Just feel she's gonna die.
But this is a service under extreme pressure.
We're constantly apologising to people.
Yeah, it's very busy down here.
Which we rely on like never before.
We're 2 shifts down in Edinburgh and 3 in the borders.
Here we go, here we go, here we go.
On the front line and at the other end of the line.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Scotland's paramedics keep Scotland safe
Breathe! Breathe the gas!
and alive.
Help is coming, they're coming as fast as they can.
This time, a walk by the loch goes badly wrong.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, don't be daft. We'll be following an easier to find you spot next time. The side of the road, perhaps.
Paramedics confront Scotland's drugs epidemic in the borders.
So it's looking like an opiate overdose, eh?
And a sprightly 98-year-old is put through her paces. Members of the Ambulance Services Special Operations Response Team, or SORT, are trained to deal with the most serious incidents. Today, John and Diane from SORT's West of Scotland base are attending a fall at Banton Loch in North Lanarkshire. Information is scarce.
It could be anything. It could be major trauma, it could be somebody that's unconscious, they could be stuck somewhere. And not necessarily a fall foot height, could always mean from ground level down as well.
The notes are 30, 40 foot, but there is nowhere there that is 30, 40 foot.
Oh, right.
Except for, if you're on the right side of the dam, there's a sluice gate. Over a wee bridge, or a bridge over a sluice gate.
Yeah.
Clear. The only 30, 40 foot drop you're going to get is if you went off the edge of that.
Okay.
There's no height in this area, it's confusing me.
So I think we had a discussion all the way there going, where has he fallen from? Where could he have fallen from? What has he fallen from?
How's he fallen?
How's he fallen?
3250, are you ready for the update? Over. Patient has fallen maybe between 10 and 15 feet off a rocky edge, landing on the rock below. He is alert. There's no obvious external injuries at the moment. The patient might be a bit of an issue getting him back up the cliff edge.
So team leader, that is overheard. We will dispatch another one of our vehicles. We've got quite a bit of extrication kit, especially for hills and rocky areas.
Getting patients out of difficult to reach places is a SORT speciality.
With SORT, prepare to mobilise, difficult access, patient 10, 15 foot down steep rocky edge. Crew on scene require assistance with extrication.
We have different equipment in different vehicles, so although we were in one vehicle, we only had a limited amount.
We've mobilised the full team just so that we've got the hands we need.
We've got the sked in this vehicle anyway, haven't we?
Then we've got the basket and the ropes in the other vehicle.
So we try to do a bit of pre-planning with incidents like this to allow us to prepare and take the right equipment. Because a lot of these incidents tend to be a distance.
Nice night though. So we're going to get bothered by the midges, so.
Probably, yeah.
Excellent.
still can't picture what rocks he's on, but we shall see. Vehicle access-wise, we should be able to drive right up to him though.
I take it's just one entrance in and one...
One entrance in and one entrance out, unless you've got a set of bolt cars.
I hadn't been there before, so John was directing me along this quite a narrow sort of walkway, so I was panicking more that is the vehicle going to fit along this walkway? There was a lot of overhanging trees.
I'll put my hazards on.
Yes, good on you. A bit of reverse because you can't turn up here, but...
We can reverse into that junction.
We'll see what's happening.
It is only when they arrive at Banton Loch that the crew work out where exactly the patient has fallen.
It's just a load of rocks on one side of the beach. And he's managed to fall over that, so although it wasn't a fall from height in the vertical height sense, it was a almost diagonal fall and bounce off a couple of rocks on the way along. So it was a bit of an unexpected one.
The patient is now trapped in amongst the rocks. He's in too much pain to move, and they are losing the light. The crew now face several challenges before night falls.
Extrication isn't normally a quick thing. How are we going to get him off the beach? And then certainly the sun was setting, and the gentleman was already shaking with the cold, lying on the beach, so...
Yeah, and how were we going to get him back up the blocks? Because they went the smallest of blocks.
The Scottish Ambulance Service operates 3 control centres where 999 calls are handled.
Thank you, morning everyone. Operationally, South East is looking better. We're 2 shifts down in Edinburgh and 3 in the Borders.
Like many parts of the NHS, the ambulance service is battling staff shortages every day.
East Central is going to be a bit of a challenge. We're 7 shifts down in Fife, 6 in Forth Valley and 7 in Tayside.
Call handler Kirsty has already been on shift for 6 hours.
Ambulance emergency, is the patient breathing?
I would say the last couple of years has been the worst in terms of length of delays and the amount of waiting calls.
Okay, is the patient awake? No, okay. She's unconscious now, right, okay. Are you with her now? Right.
It's been quite hard to deal with, knowing that we can't help everybody as quickly as we would like to.
Okay, so is she breathing? She's not breathing, right, okay.
When a patient is struggling to breathe, Kirsty must immediately instruct the caller to start a potentially life-saving procedure. CPR.
Now listen carefully. Are you right by her now? Right, listen carefully. Lay her flat on her back on the floor and remove anything under her head. Tell me when you've done that. Yep, okay. Now listen carefully. I'm going to tell you how to do chest compressions. Place the heel of your hand on the breastbone in the centre of the chest, right between the nipples. Put your other hand on top of that hand. Pump the chest hard and fast, at least twice per second and 2 inches deep. Tell me when they start pumping. Okay, we need to go at this rate. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tell them to push down hard. Make sure the chest comes all the way up between pumps. We're going to do this until help can take over. Now count out loud so I can count with you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's a very quick count. People don't realise sometimes how quick it is, but it's a very quick beat and you have to keep going over and over and over and over, and it does get exhausting.
Keep doing the compressions over and over, don't give up. This will keep her going until the ambulance crew arrives. Compressions are very tiring, so if you need to swap over you can, just make sure you do it nice and quickly.
We can hear people getting physically tired on the phone doing it, but we have to just keep encouraging, just keep going, because every little bit that you're doing is helping that patient to potentially survive.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The help is coming. They're coming as fast as they can as an emergency, all right? Just keep going. The crew will be coming in with all their equipment and everything, so just keep going while they set up around you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, okay, I'll leave you with the crew, okay? Take care. Fast bystander CPR is really important when someone has stopped breathing. The quicker we can get hands on chest, the better. Everything else behind me disappears, and I am 100% focused on my screen, giving the instructions, making sure that the instructions are being understood and followed. Ambulance emergency, is the patient breathing?
In Kelso, Christine and Ruth are preparing for another day shift.
Did you do much for your common riding?
Nah, because we were away for the common riding week.
Right.
So we took Isaac to see the horses a few times, but didn't really.
It was nice to see it so busy as well.
It was.
Things getting back to normal.
I know, first time in a couple of years that it, again, makes such a difference just to get some normality back.
Christine has been a paramedic for 6 years.
I think we're in a hugely, hugely privileged position to care for people, for people to maybe have the worst day of their life, and yet they look to you to help. And I think that's something that I take very seriously, and I think it's something I'm really proud of.
999 activated.
What have we got, Christine?
Okay, so we have got an emergency call to Cherry Cheese, which is near Kelso.
Right.
Just outside, to a 83-year-old female. She has collapsed and she's going to the Borges A&E. What size gloves are you?
Medium, please.
Don't get me wrong, you have emotional days, you have stressful days, you have days where you wonder if you'll ever be able to come back and face what the next day might bring. But I think the love of the job brings us all back. So we'll go and see what we find. Obviously, if there's been collapse, what's the cause? Is there a cause? Is there a diagnosis? Is this just sort of starting? Is it a new thing? Is it existing? We'll just kind of see what we find when we get there. Just round this corner and there's a wee road up.
Oh, scared there's somebody on a bike.
I know. Sure, there'll be like a little estate and then we'll find it from there.
Hoping somebody's there. So is it one of these?
Yeah, we'll soon so.
Do we know which one before I gone too far back? It's...
Okay, let's just go in there. Hello there.
So when we arrived, Gillian's husband was quite upset. He had had an operation. He was just discharged from hospital the day before. And I think he was concerned that this was in some way his fault because he wasn't able to help Gillian as much as he normally would have.
So what makes you think that this is your fault?
I was trying to get her back from the mobile potty to the bed.
Right.
And she just fell.
So, but a leg slip, that's not your fault. These things happen. Okay? It's okay. Do you need a hug? Oh, sweetheart, you're fine. Listen, we're going to look after her, okay? I'm going to go and check Gillian over. Okay, well, there'll be a second.
Well, what better medication is there than just a wee hug now and again just to help?
So she can remember falling. She can't quite answer when I ask if she's hurt herself. However, she says she's quite comfortable lying on the bed at the moment. Now, Gillian, do you have a headache or anything?
Yeah.
No? Are you able to open your eyes? Is it quite fuzzy?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Is it funny?
Funny, okay. Okay, and then we're going
Gillian's symptoms could be signs of a stroke.
Okay. There can be other causes for the symptoms of this, but if it was a stroke, that's time critical.
In North Lanarkshire, Diane and John are attending Kuram, who's fallen by Banton Loch. Another local crew is already on scene.
Okay, so what are we at? So he's had 10 milligrams of morphine, 4 milligrams of ondansetron. He's fell from up here, up where the ambulance is pretty much, tumbled, landed here on his left-hand side. He's complaining of pain in his left elbow, left knee, possible loss of consciousness. Eyes were rolling back when this gentleman first got to him, but when he spoke to him, he did respond. But
excellent.
Certainly we like to build on any ideas the crews have, because what they're thinking might be slightly better than what we have in mind, so we need to have that joint understanding of each other.
The patient is in an awkward position amongst the rocks. He may have internal injuries and is in severe pain.
We'll get a wee bit of Penthrox on board, try and move it if you want.
yeah, he's had 10 milligrams of morphine, we've not given him anything else.
Brilliant. Di!
Yeah?
You grab a Penthrox as well, pal?
Yep.
Penthrox is a fast-acting painkiller. Not all ambulance crews carry it, but it is an important part of SORT's armoury.
It's one of the extra bits of kit we can bring just to supplement our colleagues. So in this case, we gave the gent the Penthrox and it seemed to work really well.
Yeah, it calmed him down.
If it's too sore, just let me know. So all I'm going to do is bring this shoulder across, so just coming across your chest, okay? Good lad. How's that? That'll do, just do there, we just need your arm moved. How's that there?
I'm fine.
Excellent. You need to let us know if it's sore.
Yeah. Is that too sore?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's okay.
You sure?
Yes, yes.
We can help you with the pain. You don't need to do that strong thing with you. Don't tell us, you know.
I'm fine, honestly.
Right, good man.
Right, does that feel comfortable?
When they examined his injury, the local crew had to cut off some of Kuram's clothes. He's getting colder as the evening draws in.
Certainly, in any patient that we suspect has any form of traumatic injury, it's well studied that the effects of cold can start to internally affect the body's response to this. It's a fairly negative response, the big one being that it reduces the ability to clot. And the colder they get, the less the body can produce these clots. That then leads to the body bleeding further and leads to quite a profound negative impact on the physiology of this person.
Di!
Yeah?
You got a blizzard blanket?
Yep. I'm just going to get the trolley out as well.
So for this gentleman, initially we used the blizzard blanket because we were aware lining that beach isn't the best and the sand was just sapping any heat that he did have. So by getting an insulating layer underneath it hopefully starts that heating process. Trying to keep a little bit of heat in whilst we're doing everything we need to do.
So we'll get this stuff off, then we'll just get this board underneath you, alright? We're going to get you wrapped up though.
We need to make the plan, we need to get the equipment, we need to ensure that the patient's suitably packaged, and then we need to get from the injury location to the waiting ambulance, where hopefully the heaters are on full bung. So it's a bit of forward planning and being aware that if they're cold now, 10, 15, when we get down the line and get this plan enacted, they're going to be colder.
Right. You got anything in this pocket?
None at all.
No, right.
Other side, because we're rolling onto the good side, aye, aye. So the trick is, remembering the order they go in. So it'll be binder to skin, that underneath the binder, and then your scoop going in afterwards. Doing like that, can I have 2 bodies down just to assist with moving?
But this patient's injuries mean getting him onto the stretcher will not be easy.
Just lots of communication is priority. John took the lead with that. It's only one person, one voice, and it makes a difference just to make the extrication go a lot smoother.
So we're just going to roll you just to your right hand side, okay? I'm not ready. So prepare to roll and roll 15 degrees. Rest it up. Can we touch that?
Can you take your elbow away from my elbow?
Oh yeah, you put it. So we've got possible fracture dislocation elbow. Blanket underneath that, underneath the pelvic binder. Okay. And then the scoop in under the blanket. You alright? How's that pain?
Okay.
You sure?
Yes. So, you want to go to the left?
So we're going to take you onto your sore side, okay?
I can support your arm if you wish. Yeah, just move it.
Don't you worry too much.
Get that leg straight and this arm across your pelvis.
Donkey, keep it down on the left side, please. Right.
Get your hands deep on me.
It's alright.
It's alright. Okay, prepare to roll and roll. Wee gentle tilt that way, bud.
Just come over to me, that's it.
That'll do it, that, rest there. Brilliant. So we can get the binder out over greater trochanter's. Perfect, and back down. Perfect. So let's get the binder sorted first. How are you doing? How's that feel?
The patient has now been on these rocks for 1 hour.
Squeeze my fingers.
You sore anywhere? In the leg still? We'll have you in the ambulance in a minute. Where's it? Just be aware when you're moving that leg, please, guys.
We had feeding light as well, which is just an extra thing we didn't need with treacherous beachy ground.
Give one of them a shout just to get headlocks.
They're just...
Oh, even better, Chris. Cheers, Dad. Is it that leg? Are you still feeling it just now? Whereabouts is that pain? Top, middle or bottom?
My knee.
In your knee. That's us done there. Let's get this blanket right out so it should go over them. We've got it pretty well folded. Perfect. Bring your head round for me, pal. There you go. Guys, if we can have a wee gentle lift just round about the hips using the blizzard blanket. A wee gentle lift, fella, okay?
1, 2, 3, right.
Where on?
There we go. And down.
Brilliant. How's that? You feeling a bit warmer?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Is that
Is that fella?
my jumper?
Your jumper is behind us. We've got it there. So we've got everything cut off here just because we need to make sure we've not missed anything.
Can give jumper to my partner, please.
We will do. Let us get you sorted.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, don't be daft. We'll be falling an easier to find you spot next time. The side of the road, perhaps.
With the patient now safely on the stretcher, minus his good jumper, John and Diane need to work out how to get him safely up the rocky cliff.
Was it yourself or was it one of the members of public?
Member of the
really helpful
public.
chap that said there was a path further along the beach, and he took me to go and have a sort of eyes on and to work out if it's going to be a more suitable way to go out, and it was.
Okay, prepare to lift and lift.
Watch your feet.
Okay, prepare to lower and lower.
It was longer, but it meant we were all safe.
So it's going to be a wee bit of a walk now, okay?
Because any carry of a patient, we've got to put the patient first and then the staff as well, because you're carrying with one hand. There were still rocks on the beach, there were still water puddles.
We get the ambulance in 2 minutes, Kieran.
And then we had a wee hill to go up as well, didn't we? At the end, through a sort of small forest. So yeah, it was a bit tricky.
You all right there? Okay. That's what I was watching there.
We would have needed a lot more hands if we were to take him back up the way the patient came down, basically.
Right, okay. Prepare to lift and lift. Scoop's clear, trolley in. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. So that's you in the stretcher now. You'll not be moving again until you're in hospital. All happy?
SORT crews do not generally transport patients to hospital. John and Diane's work at Banton Loch is done.
I think what we're good at SORT is, although there is set procedures for extrication, we improvise quite a lot with the equipment that we have. Sometimes you can't always go step by step or by the book, so we've got to really use our imagination and use what we have. Yeah.
Donkey, you alright just to give the you guys a hand once he's on? In regards to moving the motors?
What you do enjoy is cutting fences.
I do.
You're big tough cutters.
The scissors, the bolt cutters, anything that might make a bit of damage. We're on the wrong job.
Cheers. We'll be 2 ticks, because... Open. Roger.
In the countryside outside Kelso, Christine and Ruth are attending Gillian, who's fallen at home.
I'm just going to have a wee chat with Ruth. All right, just while that blood pressure's taken. Okay. So, did her husband say it'd been an hour?
Yeah. And when he was helping her back from the commode to the bed, this happened. So he now thinks it's his fault.
Oh gosh.
I said it's no. These things happen.
She'd been alert enough to be up on the commode.
Yeah, she'd been up on the commode.
And then it was stepping up from there.
It was going from there back to the bed.
And did she recover fully from that?
Never asked, Christine,
okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
So we've got a heart rate of 70.
Yeah.
Which seems fairly regular. So that's 95. And blood pressure's 115/66. Gillian, I'm just going to have a little listen to your chest, okay?
Yeah.
You just breathe nice deep breaths for me. Good lass. And again.
Hello, sir. Hello. My name's Christine. This morning when your wife kind of had that event, did she recover fully from it? Was she alert? Was she... No.
She hasn't been alert for a long time.
Was she not? Okay. And is that following a stroke?
I'm going to have a little feel in your tummy.
I don't know. It's following since she came out of hospital, which was just before Christmas.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She had a terrible chest infection. Didn't have COVID or anything like that, but she couldn't get rid of the fluid. She went in on the first Sunday in October, and on the Monday morning at 3 o'clock they rang to say they didn't think she'd make it through the night.
Oh, God. Okay.
But as I said, she's a tough old bird.
Yes. And have you ever seen her like this before?
No, not quite.
Not quite, okay. You must have got a fright this morning.
In this instance, we were quite concerned about Gillian at the time as well.
Can you tell me how you're feeling at the moment? That's okay. That's okay.
The crew suspect Gillian may have had a stroke, which, if true, means she needs to get to hospital quickly.
A fast test is looking for symptoms of a stroke. So it's your face, you know, you try and get them to smile and you'd be looking for any droop or any changes kind of in symmetry of their face.
Can you blow your cheeks out? Which is not... You can't see under my mask. Can you blow your cheeks out?
Yeah.
In their arms, you'd be looking for any weakness. Speech, which is obviously where Gillian became fast positive because her speech was slurred. Do you feel quite weak?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
There's a small window of opportunity to get her into hospital and have her receive some treatment. So it's 4.5 hours from the time of onset of the symptoms. So that includes travel time. We were sort of 30, 40 minutes away from the hospital at that point.
Now, Gillian, what we need you to do is to try and stand tall. Up.
Right, good luck.
Excellent, look at that.
Just
well
turn
done.
round.
We're going to keep a tight hold of you.
Fantastic. There you go, well done.
Wonderful. Back down we go. Gillian was very weak. She didn't have a lot of strength, so I think even just getting her out of bed onto the chair was a particular challenge.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a lot of manoeuvring. You know, you're moving and handling. Do you want us to help you? I mean, to try and get your bottom back a wee bit. Trying to make sure that the patient's safe and you're not harming them with assisting them, and that can be difficult when the patient's struggling to weight bear.
Right.
There we are, honey. Right, a wee bump until we get you landed, okay?
Hello, my darling.
Do you want a kiss? Yeah. Well, no, look.
Okay. 58 years and still get me.
Oh,
Really?
That's amazing.
And still so much in love.
Well done. You know, I treat my patients as if I would want to be treated, and I make sure that, you know, on their worst day, I can do the best that I can do within my role. Take care. Nice to meet you. And I think obviously working in a small community, you know, in small towns like we have in the Borders, just makes that extra special, you know, because it's, you know, people that you maybe know, people that you maybe see again, and you can end up building a relationship, and I think that's really, really important.
You tired? You've not had a great night? And a worse morning?
Are you happy, Ruth?
Yeah, are you?
Yeah.
Good.
Perfect. See you up there?
Let's get lost again. Nice and still, my love.
Paramedics based in the Borders cover a huge part of southern Scotland, ranging from the edge of England to Edinburgh. Melrose Ambulance Station is the biggest station in the Borders. Lee has worked in this part of the world for over 6 years.
There's nothing I would rather do than this. The reward, the satisfaction we get from doing this job is incredible. That we can do things as simple as just helping people in a moment of need, being a sympathetic shoulder, but also using potentially life-saving abilities and skills through all our hard work and training. We generally get to make a difference in people's lives, and that, for me, there's nothing I'd rather do than to experience this.
Connor is a newer member of the team.
My gran died at home unexpectedly in 2001. The ambulance crews that came were just amazing. They weren't able to save her, but the care they showed to me and my family was just incredible. From that moment on, I thought, if I could play a part in saving someone else from that grief, saving the patient, saving someone's family from that grief, then it would be a real worthwhile thing to do with my life.
It's 5:30 in the evening, and the crew have been called to an emergency in Hawick, over 15 miles away.
Right, this is a male lying outside. He's not responding. He's taking drugs. That overdose.
Connor, don't worry.
Police have been informed. Find out what he's taking. It's quite heavy. See over there.
Yeah, that's probably where he is as well. Judging by the map.
I've certainly noticed an increase over the past couple of years of overdoses, not just things like heroin, but paracetamol and antidepressants as well.
Still lying on the ground by the looks, Connor. Sorry? He's still lying on the ground.
Oh, right, I see him now. Right, okay.
All right, lads. All right.
So when we arrived, the patient was lying on the floor outside. It was quite a wet day, so that he was exposed to the weather.
There's a broken bung there.
Yeah.
I couldn't find any other injuries, no blood.
Turned him onto that side.
Good work, mate. The police knew the patient. He had been in contact with them quite a few times, and he was a known heroin user and a known benzodiazepine user as well. All right, pal. Open your eyes, pal.
Got to have a look at it.
Did he have anything on him? Any kind of, other than the bong?
Nothing that
else?
we could find, but there might be stuff in the other side.
No needles
That
or?
t-shirt was tucked in his sock for some reason.
Was it?
Aye.
No needles or anything on him, though?
No, that I could find.
It was raining quite heavily, so me and Lee were thinking about the potential hypothermia as well as the overdose.
So his SATs are about 93, 94.
Someone who's unconscious, their airway can become compromised as the muscles in the throat relax. So our first concern is to open that airway and secure it.
The patient is completely unresponsive to the crew.
You open your eyes.
Lee and Connor need to work out what he's taken.
We monitored his breathing, removed some of his clothing to look for any signs of any IV drug use. Normally it's called track marks, but we see needle marks in their arms and other places quite commonly. Do they have pinpoint pupils, which he did? So it's looking like an opiate overdose, eh? Yeah. So it's clear that the potential was there for this to be a heroin overdose. We made the decision that we were going to give this patient naloxone. It's sometimes referred to as Narcan. We carry an element, and I think the police are starting to carry an element now.
Naloxone, or Narcan, has been carried by ambulance crews for 25 years. It is used to reverse an opiate high and is an increasingly important tool in Scotland's battle with drug deaths.
Yeah, so we're going to give an IM injection of 400 micrograms. We can give it every 3 minutes, okay, and it's 1 ml, okay?
We're going to have to give you some naloxone, okay?
Give it slowly and carefully, because if you bring the patient round too quickly, it's quite common they can get aggressive. They've just spent their last money on this high that they're addicted to, and you've just taken that away. So you have to be really careful. 1753, first one, okay. We'll give 1 or 2 a try, and if he doesn't respond, then we'll try for IV after that, okay.
But even naloxone doesn't work all the time.
Can you hear me, pal? No response. Okay, so it's 56, we'll give it to 58. And give him another Narcan, okay?
Just so you're aware, I think he's known to use valleys.
Right, okay. That's helpful, because that's probably, without heroin, that's why he's not responding.
Street Valium is believed to be a factor in 2/3 of the country's drug deaths.
Unfortunately, we don't see the effects of the Narcan then because he's been so sedated. So the Narcan may be working inside his system, but because he's had so much sedative, he's not actually coming round. So naloxone and 01-2024. We're finding this more and more because apparently these benzodiazepines are so cheap on the streets that people are taking them like Smarties, especially when they're taking heroin to kind of prolong their high. Oh, I should. Well done. Right, let's see what that does. Come on, pal. Can you hear me? Open your eyes, mate. Open your eyes. Still pinpoint. So number 3 in at 1812, okay.
You don't open your eyes.
Okay, so if this doesn't bring him around in the next couple of minutes, let's move, okay.
The patient has now had 3 doses of naloxone, but he's still unresponsive, which is worrying the crew.
Blood pressure is quite low.
Yep.
I'll get all that off you in just a second. We'll get some details first and we'll get some help organised for her, okay?
Is the patient awake? Right, okay. And are you with him now?
In the control centre, Kirsty takes another call where a patient is struggling to breathe.
Right, okay, we're going to check his breathing together to make sure it's all right. When I say go, watch him closely and tell me each time his chest rises. Are you ready? Go. Next one. Right, he's not breathing effectively for himself, okay? Right, listen, the nearest defibrillator is at the museum. Are you able to send someone to get that?
We've got a database of where defibrillators are located, and when an address is put into the system to generate the call for the ambulance to attend, it will show the nearest defibrillators. I think it's nearest one's under 500 metres.
The patient is in an awkward position on a toilet seat, making CPR difficult.
Right, listen carefully. We need to get him on the ground. Don't worry about hurting him. Okay, now grab him by the ankles and slide him off the toilet onto the floor. Don't worry about the fall. We need to help him now.
We start by telling them to get the patient on the floor, flat on the back, nothing under the head, because if the head's lifted up, it actually restricts the airway.
Right, I need you to push him back as far as you can so we can get him as flat as we can so we can do the compressions. We need to help him now because he's not breathing effectively for himself.
There's no time to move the patient. CPR needs to begin immediately.
Centre of the chest, one hand on top of the other. Okay, we need to pump the chest hard and fast, at least twice per second and 2 inches deep. I know he isn't on the floor yet, but we're going to do this just now to help him.
Getting CPR done quickly is the most important thing when you're having an out-of-hospital cardiac arrest, when you've stopped breathing. Essentially, you're keeping the heart beating.
Okay, we're going at this rate. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Yep. Pop the phone to the side, that's fine. Just let me know if anything changes. Do not stop, okay?
You're going to feel cracks, you're going to feel like you're doing it wrong, but you need to do it hard to be effective.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just keep going like that. Just keep going, you're doing really well. Is the defib with you now? What's happened? Let me know if anything's changed. He's opened his eyes, that's wonderful, well done. You've helped him right now. Okay, just watch him closely and let me know if anything further changes. He's looking around about him. Is he able to... Right, is he able to get himself off the toilet and onto the floor for you? He's just said no. Right, okay, that's good. That's good he's responding. Okay. Just keep watching him closely. He said hello. That's good.
Pressures on the service are intense. This patient has been given 18 minutes of CPR before the ambulance arrives.
Is that the ambulance crew? Right, I'll leave you with them. Thank you so much for your help. Take care. Bye-bye now. Oh, you have to laugh when callers make comments. He's sitting in a compromising position with his trousers round his ankles with 2 women in the bathroom.
This has been the second time this shift that Kirsty has provided telephone CPR instructions. And although the calls have ended well, it sounds like both patients have had a brush with death.
I don't keep track of how many I get in a day now, but some days you can feel that's all you're taking is CPR calls.
Is it just come on all of a sudden?
At one point I was called the Grim Reaper.
In Hawick, the condition of Connor and Lee's patient is not improving.
We made the decision that we needed to get him back in the ambulance because the naloxone wasn't working. Right, let's put the straps on and let's move on. But we ended up making the decision that this patient was an immediately life-threatening medical emergency. 1, 2, 3. So we ended up blue lighting him into hospital. Sometimes we won't get a response from our Narcan at all, and that makes it more of a medical emergency. He needs bloods taken in A&E to discover what else is in his system that's keeping him sedated. So it made us realise that there's potentially something more going on.
Finally, as the patient is secured in the ambulance, he starts to stir.
Right, blood pressure improved, 121/72.
Excellent. All right, mate. Open your eyes. It's coming round. Here we go. All right, mate.
One of the things we need to keep in mind when giving naloxone is we want to keep that patient in a groggy state, you know, not fully alert, but not totally unconscious as well. And that just makes them a bit more easier to manage on the way to hospital.
Lie down, you're going to fall off the bed. You're okay.
You're an ambulance, mate. You're all right. You all right?
Wait, do you want to just lie down? There
you go. Whoa, easy, tiger. Oh, it's urinating. It's urinating.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in the back, this patient urinated, which causes other problems, not just for this job itself, but it means that we're no longer available to respond to emergencies after this job, because that ambulance would then need a deep clean to rectify that problem, which has a knock-on effect for us and for the service. What we'll do is we'll get another naloxone ready for en route.
Yeah, should I go for this now? What are we looking at? Right, so so he's not as flat as he was when we first got there.
It's not as flat.
So,
good respiratory effort.
Yeah, better than it was. Just keep an eye then.
Give it en route.
Absolutely.
Okay, just
yeah.
for it slipping down. Okay.
Yep. And if I need you, I shall give you a wee knock.
Okay. We have to just be very, very cautious with the way we handle these patients. So we try and do it in a controlled way, in a supportive way, and not just grind them down crashing and give them the worst hangover they've ever had. We need to be really, really cautious with how we manage them.
So on the way into hospital, the patient became quite animated, but luckily we were very close to the hospital at that point.
All right, you're tangled up.
This was the end of the shift, and we'd had a busy day. These all have knock-on effects, but our job is to remain professional at all times and keep working to the best of our abilities. And we need to support each other and work together through these more challenging jobs. Just give them a minute to settle down before we move, okay?
Give it a shout.
Yeah. Thanks, Sheila. All right, pal. Just relax. Just relax. Good man. It's all right. You're at hospital, pal.
Paramedic Gregor and technician Colin work out of Hoyk Station. Like all crews in the Borders, they can travel across this region and beyond to attend patients. This morning, they're on their way to Selkirk.
OK, Colin, we have emergency yellow call to Selkirk. It's coded as a fall.
OK.
Female lying on the floor, D&V, head injury, 98-year-old. That's OK, doc.
Maybe found by a carer this morning, or it's a bit later, isn't it?
Yeah. Looks like a falls weekend.
It certainly does.
She must be fairly independent and still staying at home.
Still staying at home, aye. 98. Fair play. I'm a technician and I've got 3 more months to go before I'm a qualified paramedic, so I'm nearly there.
Obviously, you've came to Hoyk Station and you're not even a Borders man. We had to get used to his accent to start with. But he's settled in great, and as you know, you learn it mostly out on the road, don't you? You get all the skills at the training school.
Yeah.
And Colin's done great now. He's virtually completed his paramedic training, so it's the future's all good, isn't it?
That's it. Pressure's on now. Oh, the bikers of the day. Huh? Hope none of them come off.
Their patient is nearly 100 years old. At such an advanced age, a fall can be very dangerous.
Must be that one.
We'll just stop there, eh?
Oh, yeah. Is that the only access to here?
I think it might be, actually. Aye.
Hello there. Is this Christy? Hello, Christy. Can we do a couple of little checks to see how you're doing?
Good, good, aye.
Because obviously the carer was a bit concerned about you this morning.
That's right, yes,
Okay.
yes.
I know
I take the turns, you see,
Yep.
which is, and I blamed the Sunday. How I didn't care.
It always happens on a Sunday.
As soon as we went in, we knew that she was going to be a character because she was, despite her advanced age, she was as sharp as a tack. Very funny, cracking jokes.
And can you remember falling?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll tell you what it was. I was washing dishes and it was getting kind of dark.
Right.
And I just turned quick. I didn't mind what anything else.
It's good to see that because it kind of puts your fears to rest that she's in any pain or that there's anything like she's significantly ill. She came across as being quite open and up for a bit of a laugh. So that was encouraging to us.
Am I awfully feared for my blood pressure?
I know.
Is it all right?
We're going to keep an eye on that.
Aye.
Go and just relax your hands. Can you hold them together and just put them on this towel? Look, I want you to keep nice and relaxed. That's it. Perfect. This is just moving around a wee bit. Settling down a wee bit. Chrissy, I've got another check here. I'm going to check your blood sugar level. Is that okay?
Although Chrissy is in good spirits, the crew are concerned.
When we went in, the carer was there, and he knows her quite well, but he was a bit concerned about her and what he'd found this morning. There was a couple of trends going on. He'd came in the day before, and she'd fallen in the bathroom for some unknown reason. They kind of got her up, got her kind of back to rights. Again, came in the next day, she was on the floor, but this time there was nausea, vomiting. I heard you might have banged your head as well.
Aye, it's no bad.
Can I have a wee look?
Yes, aye.
Just have a good hold of my elbow. There we go.
Aye, that's it.
Oh, now then. Have you had a few falls lately?
Aye.
You've got a few recent scars there.
They've been in the wars, eh?
A wee bit concerned about you because you've had a lot of falls recently. So that's why we're doing all these little checks.
They were wanting to put us in a home.
Yes, aye.
And when I came, I says, look, I says, I've been able to work the boat myself.
Yep.
And I says, if I fall,
Yep.
I says, you can do what you like with it.
Yep, yeah. And
I'll not
yep.
be here that long or anything.
Oh, is your tummy okay?
Yes, aye.
But the things that were worrying us, she's got a frailty. There's a little trend going on with falls here. She's had this nausea and vomiting. She lives alone. I just didn't think she was safe at home at this present time. Can we do a little test to see how your legs are?
Aye.
Okay, well, and I want you to see how you get out your chair. Now, do you normally use this?
Right, now.
I'll wait till Colin's ready.
Right, I'm ready to go.
Just want to see how you get on there. This is a wee test for you.
No.
Right, what would you normally do?
I usually do this.
Okay. Yep.
Now, you'll see. Come on.
It's nice and easy. It's an awfully low seat, that. Okay.
No bad,
Now, before you move, how's the legs feeling? How's your legs feeling?
All right, okay.
Have a wee walk for us just now. Okay.
Oh, I feel better now. It's
Oh, I know, but I'm a bit worried why you fell before. Right.
Aye.
Right. Chrissy, go back to the chair you were in then, if you could.
I just take my time.
Perfect. We're just when we're comfortable with keeping her home alone. She could have the next 24 hours at home or to the next morning. Home alone again. Perfect. Perfect.
Just perfect.
And if she's had this sickness, vomiting, what's the chances she might fall again? We don't want her breaking her hip, banging her head off the door. Injuries like that could really keep her in hospital for a long, long time. I'm just thinking of a plan for you, okay? I'm a wee bit concerned about you. You had a fall yesterday, I was led to believe.
Yes.
And you've had a fall this morning. So I'm wondering if something's just trying to work on your body that's knocking you off your legs a wee bit.
I will.
So there's always a plan. I would like you to get checked out at the hospital, okay?
Yes,
Because I want you to be safe at home.
Oh, that's right.
All
yes,
right.
That's fine.
How about that for a deal?
That's super.
Good.
Aye.
Perfect. We'll do that then, okay? Sometimes with the very elderly as well, you have that battle with them to actually convince them to go to hospital. Sometimes they're that independent. No, I don't need it. I don't need a hospital. I don't want to go, but you know you want them to be safe.
Yeah.
And you sometimes just have to work around them a wee bit, but if you can get on their side, like we did with her, they eventually
Easier.
come round and see sense that it's maybe the best thing at this time. It's grand, she's got it. Brilliant. Chrissy, can I give you a wee help to stand up? And we'll help you to this chair?
Yes.
Right. Just give us a shout if you need a wee hand. Oh, perfect.
No bother.
No bother.
You can see the bit on the back there for exhaustion.
Aye. Hopefully we'll just get a full assessment.
There we go.
Nice
We've got
and
a wee
easy.
set of stairs here, okay, so we'll just take our time.
It's just a nice job,
She
wasn't
had a
it?
good sense of humour, and she was I think she's quite a stoic individual as well. Like, it's a bit cooler today, it's a bit overcast, it's not quite as nice, eh? But it's enjoyable to work with those people, you know.
Here we are.
Here we are.
So what we'll do now, I'll give this paperwork to Colin, and he'll go and book us in, okay? And then I'll wait here with you, and we'll take you into A&E. It's just nice and stable. Again, Colin, just like in the house there. I better get the lefts and rights the right way around, eh? How's that?
All right.
Okay there.
Aye.
Good. Let's get you wrapped up again. There we go.
Cozy.
Yes. Ready?
There we go.
We're on the move, Chrissy. Right. Okay. Right. We used to always say it's not the best job in the world, but it's in the top 3. But maybe since COVID, it might be about top 5.
Knocked it in a wee bit. Definitely the right decision. Get on this.
Definitely borderline.
Yeah.
She's 98-year-old.
Yeah.
She's frail. Warm.
Yeah.
Dehydration.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the right call.
Yeah.
Next.